Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. Today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. So I have 3 different piles set up for you. I've got the first pile, pile number 1, with the Santa Muerte tarot and this cute little mushroom. And then I have the Vampire tarot with this little key pendant. And then I have the Astrological Tarot here with this pretty little spell bottle. So I will give you some time to look over the piles and decide which one is calling to you for this month, and that will reveal the messages that you need to hear right now. Hello my group ones, if you chose the little cute mushroom, this is your reading. I'm going to be shuffling all of the cards on camera this time around. I don't know if that'll, well, I know it won't save time, but I figure, oh my goodness. Yeah, I was just called to do it, so got a lot jumping out for you. Let me get this organized. Oh my goodness. I don't know if it'll all fit on the screen. Here, we'll do this. Ooh. I felt called to do a reading today, and no wonder, these cards are chatty. All right. Okay, so immediately what is standing out is how many major arcana are here. You've got the Sun, Judgment, the Chariot, and Strength. So already, like, the majority of this spread is in the major arcana, which is really interesting, and I think with sort of the story that it's painting me, it's calling for you to look inwards. The Sun in reverse card, it speaks to your inner child, and also sort of the sense of, there's a sense of disappointment I'm feeling. And with the King of Cups reverse, this is also saying that now is the time to kind of look inward and deal with those emotions of disappointment, I guess, because they may be related to that inner child's, like, something has disappointed the inner child in you, or maybe a memory's come back up that influences your inner child. With the 3 of Cups in reverse, normally I see this as like the influence of a third party, like that feeling of like 3 is a crowd kind of thing. But I also think like you're called to spend some time alone. You're called to look inward at those inner feelings and break them down. Yeah, the 3 of Cups also talks about independence, so sort of eliminating extra people who may be influencing your judgment right now. Take some time alone. And I think after this period of alone time, you're going to have done enough self-reflection that you're going to get to this point of the Judgment card where you can observe yourself almost as if you are a separate party, like you are the third party kind of thing, even though there's only one of you, but you know what I'm saying. You can sort of step outside of yourself and see the situation as new. And I think with this, it's also representing like this rebirth moment, because you have this guy who's like just jumping out of his coffin. So yeah, I think you're gonna have like this revelation as you process these inner emotions, these inner feelings, and sort of get in touch with that inner child. And it's going to push you into this new mode of understanding yourself. Oh, also, because the Eight of Wands is here, this really emphasizes that there's kind of a delay. There's, like, you're not moving quickly towards this rebirth or change right now because you're a bit worried about sort of what's ahead. You're worried about the changes and what that means. But at the core of this fear is the Strength card. So I think, like, whether you believe it or not right now, you do have this inner strength to persevere and succeed in, like, overcoming the negative feelings and going through this rebirth period. I think also with the Strength card, it's saying, like, you need to show compassion for yourself right now too, especially your inner child. Like, it's also interesting in the layout of this because you've got, like, the circle of yellow behind the character in the Strength card, and then you have the circle of yellow down here. So it's like there's almost this, it's like the scales kind of thing right now. Finding a way to align those and balance them, I think that's going to be an important step of your journey this upcoming month. Let's get some more tarot cards. I've got my Vampire Tarot. Also, I've put my camera on autofocus. I realized after editing and everything when I uploaded the video last month that things were kind of blurry, and it was because I had set it to manual focus. And I don't like that, so we're trying something different today, and I'm hoping that it has good results. So, shuffling for you. This is an awkward angle for me. Ooh. The Vampire Tarot, even though I've had it for a couple of months now, it's still very new to me. I find that I need to take some time with each deck and, like, work with it for a while and sort of get to know it, because they each have their own personalities. And I think I've mentioned, like, little things about the Klimt Tarot for sure in the past, but we won't be using Klimt today. Oh, thank you. And we'll try and get one more card for you. What information can you give my pile ones? I'm gonna take this. Okay. Oh, we've got 4 cards here. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop arranging them because I know I'll arrange them as I speak again. I am gonna move them up though. With the Knight of Wands in reverse, it's interesting. You have 2 Wands cards in reverse, or not Wands, 2 Knight cards in reverse. Okay, so with the Knight of Wands in reverse, this represents that delay that I was talking about. And I think that delay stems from sort of that fear of change, that fear of, like, what's next in this journey that leaves you a bit stagnant. But yeah, you want to move forward. Like with this, I'm getting the energy that you want to push forward with, like, great speed, but it's just not happening right now. And I think that's sort of a pressure from your higher self to be like, no, like, if we rush through this, it's a temporary fix kind of thing for whatever you're kind of processing. I'm also feeling with this card that you're scattering your energy a little bit. Like, maybe that's part of that, like, escape from the fear of change, is you're distracting yourself with a bunch of different things. With the Knight of Cups in reverse also, we have sort of, again, we have, like, this moodiness that we also saw kind of coming through with the King of Cups card. I'm getting like this card is really pulling forth this idea of like the expectations that you had for yourself and sort of the disappointment that they weren't fulfilled. So I think this is more of a call to like re-examine those things and sort of reassure the inner child that we saw in the Sun card reversed that it's going to be okay, and like what is in the past is in the past, and like all we can do now is kind of take a moment to reflect and then move on. And then we have the Four of Wands card upright. So this is a representation of like inner peace and harmony and sort of the sense of like coming home. 4 is very much like a balanced number. It's an even number. Finding that inner balance is completely attainable. The Hierophant card in reverse. This is calling you to look on the beliefs you have about yourself and your own abilities right now, I think. Especially with it overlying the Strength card. Yeah, there is freedom with this and sort of challenging what you think you know already. Like going against tradition almost. And this doesn't have to be like a family tradition or a societal tradition. This may just be like going against the ways in which you've worked with your inner self before. Like you're changing that up. And I know there's a fear of change, but again, it's over the Strength card. You have the power to overcome that fear. And I really do think that this is going to help you to probably integrate a better self-talk in your day-to-day life, because it's going to reframe and like push you towards the rebirth. I think it's going to reframe how you view yourself, maybe even your past self as well. It's going to change your outlook is basically what I'm trying to say. It's going to change your outlook on your past self, which is going to influence your present self, and you're going to sort of build yourself into this new person with the Rebirth card and the Strength card. Like I'm seeing a lot of positive change despite the fear of it, and I do think that that's going to bring you a lot of inner balance. I'm using the Astrological Oracle cards today, and we're just going to see sort of the energy that you will be embodying for the month. The month of March, pile 1. Little mushroom baby. What do we got? Okay, so 2 jumped out for you. We've got Uranus and Sagittarius. Okay, so this is really interesting, and I'm actually going to put this guy over here just because the representation of the Hierophant in reverse with Uranus, because Uranus is kind of like, it's got the same energy of challenging the status quo, not necessarily going against tradition, but I guess kind of. Like Uranus is about unique ideas and creativity and new perspectives, sort of eclectic. So I think that really highlights the Hierophant and reverse card in terms of like saying, hey, you need to pick up a different perspective, look at this a different way, examine yourself and like your moods in a different way. And I think with the Sagittarius card too, there's this push to do a bit of research, a little bit of learning. I think also with Sagittarius, like in the card itself, she's taking aim with her bow and arrow. So I think this is also kind of indicating that it might be good to set small targets and then aim towards those instead of sort of taking on everything all at once. So that might be in terms of like taking on one feeling at a time and breaking it down, sort of if you journal or something, writing it out and saying like, this is how I feel, this is how it shows up in my body physically, like whether it's anxiety or just like an inner turmoil or sadness or something like that, and breaking it down, finding the roots, that kind of thing. That's kind of the general vibe, but I am going to pull one other oracle card for you because I still have the Magdalena Oracle cards. So we're going to pull a card for you today, and I'll just read directly from the book so that you get all the information. That one, could I have one card? Thank you. Okay. So you got the Gaia card. There. The Gaia card says, whether male or female, you are advised to embrace your feminine side. This means embracing your intuitive, gentle, and loving nature and applying these qualities to a current troublesome situation. Embrace these nurturing and gentle qualities, and this will help you to feel a greater sense of balance, and this will help you overcome your present difficulty. Ask Mother Earth to help ground and strengthen you, and you will feel a renewed sense of vitality. Spend time in nature, do some gardening, or go for a walk in the park. Feel your connection to the earth, and remember that both masculine and feminine qualities are complementary parts of every human being. Balance, true power, and wisdom are only possible when you embrace both. And there is like a little prayer at the bottom that says, for years I have felt your yearning, forever I have loved you. So that might be a message for your inner child. I'm also feeling called to say that it might also be good to write that down. So I will put it on the screen for you. Excuse my chipped nail polish. For years I have felt your yearning, forever I have loved you. So that might be a good little mantra for you for the next month. And I think it's also very interesting that this is saying, like, sort of fall into that nurturing part of yourself. Take care of that inner child by sort of acting as a mother, I guess, or a parent just in general, and being nurturing and like showing love. Yeah, it's really, really interesting how this is coming through, especially in terms of like that alignment, going inward and sort of finding that balance. Remember I said with the circle of yellow here, and then with the strength card it's up here, and there needs to be some kind of alignment, that balance. And the Gaia card is saying just that, like, you'll have a greater sense of this balance once you embrace your gentle and nurturing qualities and show that love to yourself. However you do that, this is kind of saying, like, get reconnected with nature. I had mentioned earlier journaling and breaking down your emotions and stuff like that. Sort of giving your inner self and your childhood self, your inner child's that sense of understanding. So I think that concludes my reading for you, Group 1s. I hope that this brought you a little bit of insight for the month ahead, and I wish you well. Bye! Hello, my Group 2s. If you picked the key pendant, this is your reading. Oh, my goodness. Book of the Dead Tarot, or the Santa Muerte Tarot. I'm going to be shuffling everything live, just because I felt called to, and you know, when spirit speaks, I listen. So, oh my goodness, okay. We'll flip those in a moment. I'd like a few more cards for my pile 2s, please. Thank you. Okay. This deck is always so chatty. I appreciate it a lot, but sometimes just flies out so unexpectedly. Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay, so already I'm seeing, like, your main trio is Cups cards. This may represent you if you're a water sign, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But ultimately, I feel like this is more so calling attention to your feelings, relationships, with other people and with yourself. But to begin with, we do have the King of Pentacles card, which sort of represents this like entrepreneurial spirit. So this may be you, and it's someone who's like really diligent and working towards something. Yeah, you're very dedicated. You are the kind of person I feel to make a plan more than anything. Like you like having a plan with clear steps and sort of working through it bit by bit. With the Knight of Cups in reverse, this is interesting because this came out in group 1 as well, and it's sort of this like sense of moodiness. There's like a little bit of jealousy that's coming through. Maybe it's also in terms of like comparison. If there's someone in your life that you're putting yourself against, and maybe you saw it initially as like a motivation to work towards your goals and stuff, but I think it's actually kind of hindering you right now. Yeah, that comparison is just like pretty unrealistic, because this other person, you know, they're on their own journey, and comparing themselves or comparing you to them is just like not fair to either party right now. This card also could represent sort of like your expectations for yourself and like a bit of an overactive imagination in terms of like what you're able to do right now. Like, yeah, I think this card is representing a lot of the things that are kind of hindering you from moving forward, and a lot of it is like comparison or getting too in your head. With the Six of Cups in reverse, sort of in tandem with this card, this feeling of lacking playfulness. I think you're really, really serious in your comparison to other people right now, and like I said, it's just holding you back. This card also represents living in the past. So this could stem from a past resentment where you feel challenged by another person, or just something that happened in the past and you are focusing on it a lot. You're putting a lot of attention into it right now. And I think you may need to kind of release that, let it go, in order to move forward with what you're trying to succeed with right now. So the Queen of Cups in reverse shows this need for self-reflection. Interesting. Okay, so what I'm getting with this card, what I'm feeling called to say is there's almost, codependency is the wrong word, but there is almost this drive that you have, and you feel like it's fueled by this other person. And that's sort of what's pushing you to be this diligent worker, because there's like a challenge aspect. But I really think that this is saying like you need to have a little more faith in yourself without the influence of the external, like turning inward and examining your own feelings of needing that challenge, and, you know, giving yourself that love and that reassurance that you can do that just because you have the power to, which I honestly think is true. Like I see you ultimately as this really driven person. To finish off, we have the Six of Wands upright, and this sort of at the end of this inner process is success. It's success, it's recognition for your hard work. And I think that really does come from that inner self-love. Like even the red from this heart is feeding immediately into the Wands card here. So I think right now, like with the reversal cards, this is what's weighing you down, is your comparison of yourself to other people, or specifically another person, or even to yourself for some people. Keep in mind this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But this could also be sort of a comparison to yourself and where you had been at a different point in your life. I know I can be at fault for sort of thinking like, oh, when I was this age, I was able to do this, and this all at once. And now that I'm older, I can't do that. What I didn't realize then was that when I was go, I was actually just running on fumes. Like I wasn't able to commit 100% of my energy to the things that I enjoyed. I was spreading myself incredibly thin just to be able to say, well, I did everything. And like after a while, it completely drained me. So I think this is calling you to sort of have that self-love and be like, hey, I don't need to be critical of myself for the things that like other people are doing on their journey. I need to look at mine and process mine and look at like what I have accomplished. And once you do that, it's going to bring you a lot of success. It's going to bring you recognition in the domains that you are skilled in. So I'm going to shuffle some Vampire Tarot for you and just get a little bit more information on what next month has. So I have some information regarding group 2's reading. Any clarification, any further details for group 2? This card wants to come out. This one too. Any further clarification for group 2? Thank you. And we'll do one more. I have one more card for group 2, please. Oh, it said 2. Okay, so I'm just gonna move these over. Okay, so oh my gosh. So it's like pretty much all Wands cards. So that's very interesting. Because Wands is all about like creativity, action, and willpower. So I think that really, really highlights sort of what whatever you're working on right now. So with the 8 of Wands, this represents like fast moving developments that are coming your way. So I think really like whatever you're working towards now, it's going to come quickly, especially once you go through this inner process of like letting go of the things that are hindering you right now. And it's going to bring you that inevitable success and recognition that you're probably hoping for. And whether or not that success and recognition comes from something external, or if it comes from sort of that inner alignment, that feeling of like, you know, success in terms of letting this thing go, whatever it is that you're holding on to. The 2 of Wands also represents like progress and discovery. So like self-discovery, sort of figuring out what makes you tick right now. But it also represents future planning. So I think like you do have a lot of ideas and you're working really hard towards them, and it's going to be moving really quickly, and it's going to prove to be really successful. But there is this like long-term plan that I'm seeing needs to be made. And then we have the 10 of Wands also upright. So this is sort of an indication that taking on this like future planning and the quick action and like what you're pushing towards, it's going to take some extra responsibility. Like you're going to feel a little more pressure moving forward. But I think that pressure comes from you. It comes from like especially working on sort of releasing the external pressures that you've put on yourself that are hindering you. Once you sort of tap into your real passion, you're going to move quickly. You're going to be looking farther into the future. And of course, this is going to bring like extra responsibilities, you know, things that you're going to have to figure out and plan for, I guess. So making those plans, writing any documents that you need in terms of like that future planning is also important, and a message that I'm getting here. And then we have the 2 of Pentacles, which indicates a need for prioritization and time management. So I think again, in tandem with the 6 of Wands or the 10 of Wands card, you're being called to maybe make a list of priorities that you need to focus on in order to have the success that you are striving towards. It is entirely doable, but you are going to have to balance a lot of different priorities, different aspects of this job. Whatever this work is, it might not necessarily be like an actual career job or something, but it might be for some people. Again, you know, take whatever resonates, but this could just be like an inner work thing or a personal project, something like that. This is saying like you're gonna need to allot your time and be adaptable with what is coming your way. And then finally we have the Hangman in reverse, and this is coming over, or rather this is representing sort of a delay, sort of this feeling of resistance. So I think when you're dealing with the inner stuff and like letting go, there's going to be this pushback of resistance, sort of this feeling of not wanting to let go of that challenge because you see it as a drive right now, and it may have gotten you to a certain point, but I think this is kind of calling you to recognize that it's not going to serve you for the longer period of time that you are making plans for. Yeah, definitely be wary of that and inspect your own motives for holding on to this challenging person. I'm going to be pulling a astrology oracle for you. Just see kind of the energy of the month as we move into it. What does group 2 need to know for the month of March? Thank you. So Pisces. So with Pisces, there's a lot of intuitive energy, and I think getting in touch with that. Also, this sense of like daydreaming. I think you have a lot of really, really interesting ideas. Okay, this is really, really interesting that this is coming through like this, but I'm seeing a lot of blue in the Cups cards here, and with them all being in reverse, I feel like this is kind of saying that your throat chakra is blocked. Blue represents the throat chakra, and with them in reverse, I'm just feeling that like they're hitting a wall. And Pisces is a water sign, so I'm feeling like there's a lot of emotion that you're kind of bottling up right now. Finding a way to communicate that feeling to another person or to yourself is going to be really pivotal in your journey and help you to move forward. Because like I said, you do have these really, really interesting ideas, these daydreams, and you do have this intuitive factor to you that tells me that you're going to know, or sort of once you open up to this new route of action, once you let go of that tether to this external challenge that you've created for yourself, you're going to be really like connected and move forward sort of with like this inner calling almost. Like you're just gonna know what to do in terms of your own business, and you won't need any outside perspective to influence that. Okay. So I'm going to be shuffling the Oracle, the Magdalena Oracle, and we'll see what final messages oh my goodness, we'll see what final messages come through for you. So the Illumination card came out for you, and this is also really interesting that this card came out because I'm seeing like a lot of the like watery colors. There's like blues and purples, and also, okay, so I'm getting like a big sense of like dreams with this card. So if you have a dream that you want to put into action, especially with the Pisces, I would definitely start looking into ways to do that. But at the same time, this may be an indication that you are getting messages through your dreams as well. So whether it's from your higher self or spirit guides or angels, whatever resonates best with you. Yeah, I'm seeing this as like you're your mind's eye is opening when you are asleep. So definitely take a careful look at your dreams over the month of March. So Illumination says, your creativity is blocked at present because you are not expressing how you truly feel. Can I just say, throat chakra is blocked. That's what I was getting before, so this is just a confirmation of that. To unblock your creativity, you need to express your feelings. Creativity is first and foremost about self-expression. Every piece of art, no matter what the subject or style, is a self-portrait. Express everything you feel inside you, good, bad, beautiful, or ugly. Everything is valid, so don't place judgments or restrictions on yourself. Your creativity has no boundaries apart from the boundaries you place on it, yourself. So what I'm saying, like, you're creating this challenge, you're creating this competitor with someone who may not even be involved. Creativity is the essence of your life and self-expression. It's creativity's voice. Self-expression heals and liberates you. It illuminates your mind and your heart. All you need is to let your feelings come through. So again, you're creating resistance. You're the one creating this challenge with another person when, like, where you think it's going to push you to succeed, but using others as a crutch, or like outside things as a crutch to keep pushing yourself forward, it's not going to stay consistent. And I think you need to examine your feelings and communicate, sort of work on throat chakra healing, maybe do meditations, release that inner tension and find a way to express yourself. And maybe you already have an idea of how to express yourself. And this is just saying, pursue that. Sort of release it, because it's going to throw you really quickly into this new mode of action. I'm gonna wrap up there, my group 2s. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. I hope this brought you some insight for the month of March. Bye! Hello, my group 3s. If you chose the cute little spell bottle, then this is your reading. So we're going to be starting with the Book of the Dead Tarot, as per usual. I just wanted to mix up the different piles for, you know, a little bit of spice for this month's reading. And I'm going to be shuffling all the cards on screen, or as on screen as possible. Basically just live. Okay. Get a few more cards. Thank you. And one more perhaps. Thank you. Okay. Whew. So, oh my gosh, we've got like almost all pentacles here. Awesome. Okay, so with the representation of pentacles, you might be an earth sign, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Or, you know, you might have clicked on this because you have questions regarding finances, the home, or your body. So let's get into it. We've got the I never know if this is a 6 or a 9. I really wish they would like indicate. I believe it's the 9 of Pentacles. So the 9 of Pentacles upright represents abundance and this sense of luxury. You know, you've got the character who's like going out and getting stuff for himself. So there's that self-sufficiency vibe as well, which is just mwah, chef's kiss. So yeah, we've got this sense of like you being financially independent right now. Like you're going out, you're making, do people say making that bread still? Get that bread? Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, so I don't know memes clearly. So yeah, the 9 of Pentacles is a representation of like you being self-sufficient. You know, you're getting stuff done on your own, you're making money on your own, and you've got it covered. You're covering the bases, like you are set. The One of Pentacles or the Ace of Pentacles represents new opportunities coming to you. So maybe you're like a freelancer or something and there's new opportunities being presented. People are coming to you perhaps, or this could be like a promotion, or even I'm getting like a good chance to start a conversation about a raise as well. If you've been at work for a while and you've been really like showing your worth right now, this might be a really, really vital time to be like, hey, I think that my work deserves to be reflected on and maybe a raise is in order, or at least some type of benefit might be coming your way. So I see this as a really, really great opportunity for you that'll bring abundance, and it might be something that you've been manifesting for a while now. So good things are coming to you in terms of finances. If you're not necessarily focused on like the financial aspect of this could also be like opportunities, like you're sort of aligning things at home or within your body right now, and you have an abundance of energy, or you're just feeling abundant in ways that you didn't expect to feel previously. And this might be coming through in like new avenues for you, like new discoveries about your home or your body, or maybe you're like manifesting success in the domain of home. Like if you're looking for a new place to live or something like that, this could be a good indication that like your search will provide you with something that's like exactly what you're manifesting. With the Devil card in reverse, I think this is also kind of piggybacking off the Ace of Pentacles, because the Ace of Pentacles, it talks about manifestation, and the Devil in reverse talks about limiting beliefs. So I think the representation of this next to the Ace of Pentacles is kind of saying like, don't doubt your own abilities to attract this abundance, this wealth, this prosperity, because you totally have it in you. You just have to believe it deep in yourself. Like your heart and soul needs to be convinced that you have this ability and you deserve these good things as they come to you. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, which represents, again, that financial independence. This also kind of indicates that there might be a bit of struggle when it comes to working from home right now. And that, I think, also extends, like, if you're working at home because you have to, because of restrictions and lockdown and everything like that, I think this is kind of saying, like, the limiting beliefs come from you sort of being like, oh, well, I can't go, like, I can't do all the things that I could do if I was working in my usual place, or there's some kind of misalignment at home right now that's throwing you off and you don't feel like you're doing a capable enough job with work or something in your home life. And I think with this, it's just kind of saying, like, that's not really true. What I'm getting from this spread is, like, you are doing a lot more work than you give yourself credit for. And I think, like, yeah, with the Devil in reverse card, especially with the Queen of Pentacles right beside it, it's like you're almost your own worst enemy when it comes to, like, not believing you can do something. Yeah, the Three of Pentacles represents, like, collaboration and working with other people. And also, I'll let you see the card. Like, see, he's watering this tiny little sprout, but underneath is like a full skull, I guess. And it shows the progression. You are working and you're kind of focusing on, like, the little things right now, but, you know, behind you, there are all these growths already, all these things that you've accomplished. And this card is sort of saying, like, you need to look at that and reward yourself and understand that because of this diligence, because of this work, even though you have doubts about your abilities sometimes, you are creating opportunities for yourself and you are successful. I'm gonna pull some cards from the Vampire Tarot. So I'm gonna sit back and shuffle. Thank you. Interesting. This one really likes to come out. Oh, thank you. Okay, so we've got quite a few actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is so interesting because I accidentally almost started explaining the meaning of this card as the 3 of Pentacles. Like when I saw it, I thought of the 2 of Pentacles, which represents multiple priorities and sort of managing your time. And I think this is something that you're already pretty capable of doing, but there may just be like this call to examine how you prioritize things currently, and maybe making some time to reflect on what you've accomplished as well, so that you sort of control these self-limiting beliefs. The Queen of Swords is indicating like clear boundaries and open communication. And I find this really, really interesting because it's over the 1 of Pentacles, which is all about like new opportunities at work, and what I was saying before about going out there and asking, being like, hey, I do this, this, and this, and I go above and beyond with this. I think it's worth talking about a raise kind of thing, or, you know, speaking about your work and communicating honestly about the things that you've accomplished, because you've done a lot of work. I'm just gonna adjust the camera a little bit there. You've done a lot of work over the last year, and I think, you know, there are people who have seen your work, but they don't necessarily take the time to think about the next steps for you, or like what they can offer you right now, because they're also kind of working. So I think having the open communication and just putting yourself out there is something that might be worth doing right now. On top of this, with the Queen of Swords, I'm feeling like that push to set boundaries is kind of in terms of like your work-home life balance. So I think you are going above and beyond, but you also need to manage your time in a way that there is a strict cutoff between the time that you're spending at work or doing work at home and the time that you're spending at home for yourself or with your family and stuff like that. So creating clear boundaries of like your time for work and your time for play basically is going to be really, really important for the month of March. And I think for just like in general, your like peace of mind. And then we have the 7 of Cups, or 7 of Chalices, in reverse, and this represents your personal values and being overwhelmed a little bit, but also that desire for alignment. So again, creating those boundaries, communicating those boundaries with yourself or with work or family members, and just, yeah, finding that balance in yourself, reassuring yourself of the values that you hold dear. So if family is something that's really, really important to you, then scheduling a time for it, prioritizing it, is what you're being called to do. We also have the 7 of Wands. So the 7 of Wands, also in reverse, shows, again, that feeling of being overwhelmed, exhaustion, and this desire to give up. And I think also with it being over the Queen of Pentacles, it's so interesting actually that like the reversal cards showed up over the other reversal cards. I know we've got Justice in reverse here too, but it's just really interesting that that kind of lines up the way that it does. Sort of represents this feeling of wanting to give up, and I think that sort of correlates with that self-doubt and like questioning your own abilities and beliefs and stuff, and sort of convincing yourself that you can't do something, which I know you can. Because you had so many pentacle cards in the first spread, like you are doing so much more than you think you are. People acknowledge it, but they don't they need the open communication that we saw with the Queen of Swords. You know, you also recognize your value, your worth, and, you know, that deserves to have some kind of compensation. So lastly, for this row, we have the Justice card in reverse, and this represents imbalance. There's also a sense of dishonesty, which I think is within yourself in terms of like your self-talk. I think you are sort of discrediting your own abilities right now, and that isn't healthy for you. So yeah, it's actually pretty unfair to yourself, because you're the one denying the new opportunities for yourself right now. You need to be open to communicating that you are available for those opportunities, whatever it might be. Be assertive, be an advocate for yourself right now, I feel is what is coming through here. So we're gonna move on to the Astrological Oracle cards. I'm so glad I can say that now. So, okay, this card. Okay, so, Jupiter represents expansion. This is kind of a reassurance, to me at least, that you have this ability to handle a lot of things, to prioritize and, you know, be really good with time management, and you have this path coming to you that's sort of saying like there are new opportunities awaiting you, and you have the ability to obtain that abundance. Jupiter represents good fortune and nobility of character. So I think this is calling you to really reflect on yourself and realize all the things that you offer in like your home life, work life, even to yourself. You're ambitious, and you do have the ability to bring these dreams to manifest, like we saw with the Ace of Pentacles earlier. So I do think that there's like so much opportunity for you to grow into and accept this new abundance. It's here for you. So we're going to be pulling an oracle card to finish off your spread. So I'll be shuffling. Oh, that was so quick. Okay, Eternal Embrace. This is so interesting. I don't think I've ever gotten this card before. I'll just show you because it's quite lovely. So Eternal Embrace says, everything in the universe consists of complementary opposites. So there is no point in wishing that everyone around you was more like you. Accept this universal truth and you will avoid further disappointment. Every time you identify a quality in another that you don't like, pause for a moment and identify the same quality within you. If you have identified that quality in another, then it is sure to exist also in you. If you can't see it within yourself, it is simply because you have repressed that quality. Every quality you think you possess comes with an opposite quality attached to it. You can't have one thing without the other. Read and reflect on the following sets of qualities or feelings listed on the next page, several times each day. As you go, you may want to add more qualities. Slowly reflect on each one until you are able to see each of these qualities in yourself. When you are able to own and love each one equally, you will have made a major breakthrough, which leads to a newfound sense of balance and well-being. So here is the list. So you have positive and negative, friendly, not friendly, happy, sad, peaceful, aggressive, strong, weak, trusting, fearful, confused, clear-headed, spiritual, physical, responsible, irresponsible, considerate, inconsiderate, angry, calm, feminine, masculine, kind, and cruel. So I think what this is kind of saying is you will be faced with moments where you think negatively about yourself, but know that within you, you also have the reverse of that. Like this singular moment that you represent one of those qualities that you deem negative, there's going to be an inverse moment that you can harness, you can bring to the table, and it is a positive. So anytime that you have a doubt, every time you have limiting beliefs, there is a flip side. You have this sort of circle that it comes around to, where you have also this ability to manifest and bring forward these new opportunities and these good things, this abundance. You just have to be open to recognizing that where there are negatives, there are also positives. That concludes the reading for the month of March. I hope this gave you a little bit of insight. Thank you for letting me read for you once again, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.